Param Pujya Papa used to say that when we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. Then mentally repeat His name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self-surrender. We try to develop a witness consciousness. It is a state of awareness of the immortal and radiant truth within us. In fact, this awareness itself is God realization. We will chant for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and then slowly try to switch over to mental chanting. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om 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 Why should we think? At the moment, our mind is fully preoccupied with the me and mine phenomena.
Maybe go.
In spite of our various spiritual disciplines, it continues to put a roadblock in realizing His presence with Him. Through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, He is reminding us, I am there in you, Gadir Bhakta, Prabhu Sakshi, Nivasas, Sharanam Suhrad, Prabhava Pralayasthanam, Nidanam, Bijam Abhyam. When he says Suhrad, without him, without that power, we don't exist. But he makes us unaware of his presence. As prompted by him, we are continuing certain disciplines by which we slowly become aware of his presence. In the 1 hour experiment, he facilitated. He is trying to make us aware that beyond the purview of thoughts, He is there. But the moment we come back to the waking state, the usual state, body level, again the me and mine only stays. So many options have been placed before us, and one of the main options is in-depth study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So in various slokas we were told about that He is the origin, He is the source of all sources. In Anandashram also, the mainstay is Ramnam. The purpose of Ramnam, Papa used to mention that while chanting, we should know that we are chanting the name of one who is within us and who is making me to chant. In Bhagavad Gita there is a shloka, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yutyasha. Therefore at all times and in all places remember me and fight the battle of life. Morning it was shared that nobody will be able to go through the 700 slokas in 18 chapters, but he will definitely prompt us to get ourselves aligned with some theme in all these 700 slokas. Due to paucity of time, we are unable to go through the entire one, but we have made a synopsis of the entire 18 chapters. Let us see how we get aligned with any of these. It is an experiment. We have to keep on pondering over this. In one of the quotations, Papa says, behold divinity in every aspect of this world, Leela. Verily, it is He at play in all things and beings. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmaredyacha. Behold divinity. Before we try to understand the import of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it will be better if we contemplate upon the secret of the manifestation through the above words of Beloved Papa. We have been asked to see His presence, How am I to see the presence? So here, the epics, Puranas, they declare that the whole of life is indeed the Leela of the Lord, the play of the Lord, in which He himself is the hero and the villain, the actor and the audience, the director and the producer, the song and the silence, and even the very stage on which the drama is enacted. It is by a large mobilization of his prakriti, his energy, his will, his power, that he manifests himself in all its multiplicity. But then the question arises as to why he allows himself to get caught in the web of his own creation. We have not forgotten him, In spite of the fact that he is the one who is playing, he has given us a sense of individuality and makes us to forget about him. So then the question arises as to why he allows himself to get caught in the web of his own creation. Can the spider be trapped in its own web? The explanation is simple. The best actors are those who can completely immerse their private lives in the personality of the character they are portraying. So also in the cosmic drama, the supreme actor has to forget his true nature and allow himself to be caught in the web of his own maya. If he is to completely and satisfyingly enact the different roles, he becomes the king on the throne, the beggar in the street, the murderer about to be hung, and the victim lying in a pool of blood, as well as the judge pronouncing the judgment in the court. He is the solo actor, the solo enjoyer, the only experience, oblivious of his divine origin, submerged in the role. He is playing, laughing, crying, dancing, singing, living and dying. The Avatara comes in order to free the Jiva from this complicated web of divine origin and enable it to realize its own nature. Throughout the chapters, 18 chapters, we find the above principle is given emphasis repeatedly in so many ways. That he is behind everything, he is behind everything, he is behind everything. Then it can be taken that the whole scene at the Kurukshetra battlefield and the characters play there are in the minds of every one of us. Lord Krishna stands for the indwelling reality. Arjuna represents the sense of individuality in all of us. Kauravas denote the negative and down-pulling forces. Pandavas symbolize the positive and elevating forces. And finally, the field of Kurukshetra is the world of everyone, within and without. So when we approach Bhagavad Gita, if this background is there, probably it might help us. Kurukshetra is within us, without us, in each one of us. Sense of individuality is personified as Arjuna. The indwelling reality, the life force, the awareness, the intelligence is Lord Krishna within us. So if this becomes clearer to us, probably it might hasten our progress towards becoming aware of His presence always. The sense of individuality, oblivious of the substratum, tries to find a sense of fullness or happiness in the outer life, in the family life, in the professional life, in the social life, by retaining its separate entity. Here starts the cobweb of challenges, duties, commitments, anxieties, stress, uncertainties, discomfort, discontentment and the like. Many a times they lead to frustration, dejection dispiritedness, and depression. At a particular juncture, he or she gets awakened to the truth, and that only by understanding first and realizing later that there is a superpower named as the indwelling reality. Actually, God in the form of realized souls, He facilitates us to get in touch with them, and then they try to awaken in us the indwelling reality's presence. That is why we revere them. If we have not been drawn to them, we would not be knowing at all. The sense of individuality will not think anything other than its level. Morning we said the me and mind level. So, at a particular juncture, she or gets awakened to the truth. And that only by understanding first and realizing later that there is a superpower named as the indwelling reality, God who is behind all creatures and situations as depicted above. In other words, we should know that we are only playing the part allotted to us by Him in this world Leela, and nothing is really initiated by us. This theme is repeatedly brought out by Lord Krishna throughout the Bhagavad Gita. This foundation should be, if it is clear, it will help us. An attempt is made to connect all chapters to understand the above theme. First chapter, Vishada Yoga, 47 shlokas. The battlefield of Kurukshetra, the venue for the pre-scripted drama, starts with the theme contained in the first chapter. The first sloka, through the words of Dhritarashtra, draws our attention to the cardinal mistake we are made to commit. The why and whereof we don't know. By allowing our mind to get dominated with the me and mine behind all our thoughts, words and deeds. And this is the root cause of all battles and conflicts in our own life, resulting in not becoming aware of His presence. Not knowing the origin of ourselves and the world of creation outside would be the instrumental cause for the dominance of me and mine. Though it pushes us to the front, it also tries to mysteriously punctures our commitment to honor our duties. The first chapter, it depicts this. Every chapter is connected to our daily life, so that it doesn't become an intellectual exercise or an academic exercise. This overview will definitely help us to go deeper and deeper later. And He is providing us everything, not that we are doing anything. And at a particular place, we will find mysteriously we get aligned to some particular theme. Let us be open. Second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga with 72 shlokas. It contains so many. While reacting to objects, emotions, thoughts and situations, we normally start from our me and mind level. The sense of individuality is caged in body-mind intellect complex, which everyone feels is the planner, the actor, the enjoyer, the sufferer. Sri Krishna first touches upon the transient nature of this equipment and points out the immortal nature of the core of their being, which is all in equality. First he has said, the roadblock is me and mine. And second thing, he is trying to make us aware of the transient nature, impermanent nature, ephemeral nature of this body-mind intellect complex through so many slokas. To slowly free us from the grip of the sense of individuality, the Lord prescribes various steps, out of which the most important is to keep up a sense of equanimity in all circumstances. anything that happens, immediately we will be shaken. Our old habits of identifying ourselves with this me and mine will definitely shake us. But in the shortest possible time, when we remember the spiritual preceptor and also the Lord who is there, why are you making me to go through this stress? A prayer comes from the bottom of the heart. And then we slowly realize that He is behind everything. When He is behind everything, we will be able to get this equipoise. Samatvam yogamuchyate. The beautiful. This is the one thing, at family level, professional level, social level, when we are confronted with, when we are subjected to go through testing moments, stressful moments, if this word comes up in our mind, Samatvam yogamuchyate. Equanimity is called yoga. Yoga means union with God. So we pray. Whatever spiritual disciplines we have been prompted to do, we will direct the same to getting ourselves grounded in the sense of equanimity. So to slowly free us from the grip of the sense of individuality, the Lord prescribes various steps, out of which the most important is to keep up a sense of equanimity in all circumstances. Not fixing our mind on the fruits of every action. Karmanye vadigaraste mabareshu kadachana. Because behind every success, behind every target we aim, we know that the sense of individuality alone cannot do anything. There are various contributory factors. Today we had our meal. Just when I see it before the plate, if I simply feel I'm enjoying it, no. Suddenly I feel what all contributory factors are there for making me to enjoy this. If I start thinking about it every now and then I will not fix up the result as my goal. I have been prompted to do this, and so many contributory factors have contributed for the fruition of that act. So we cannot appropriate the fruition only to ourselves. This is there in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Not fixing our mind on the fruits of every action in which we are engaged in would also help in remembering the subtle and mysterious power God behind every thought, every word, every deed. Only by exercising self-control and contemplating upon the indwelling, all-pervading reality, one will be able to maintain the samatva attitude. Our mind is habituated to dwell on the sense objects. The sense organs keep on dwelling on the sense objects. That means out. So there is no facility. There is no chance for me, opportunity for me to remember the power within, because I am fully preoccupied with the sense objects, and the reactions that I get disturb me. So suppose I start thinking that it is He who is making me to see, making me to hear, making me to taste, making me to touch, making me to smell, making me to think, then I will not be carried away by the sense objects. That's what he says. Just like a tortoise withdraws itself, in 2nd chapter he says, Kurmanga aniva. Whenever there is a threat, just like a tortoise withdraws to its own shell to protect itself, we have to be alert, praying to Him. This will pave the way for accepting that everything happens only by His will. Then we move to the 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga. It has got 43 slokas. to achieve the above objective. Because none of us can sit idle. Right from the moment we get up till we retire to bed, we are involved in various activities. Nobody can stop or nobody can remain idle even for a moment. So what should I do while I am involved in activity? So to achieve the above object, to maintain the samatva, to maintain the remembrance of God, efforts are to be made to convert all actions as a dedication to the Lord, who has been providing everything to us through His true creations, Mother Nature and society. Morning we were prompted to share that, na? We did not bring anything. Whatever that is needed for our basic requirement, whatever that makes our life comfortable, are provided by His two institutions called Mother Nature and society. So what am I to do? Even from the minutest, I should know that He is making me. Even the words, if He has not given the language, how will we be able to share? If He has not given this mic, how will it get amplified? If He has not given us the mind, how to dwell upon it? So the entire thing is an offering to Him. Today, before we took our meal, Brahmarpanam Brahmavi, to remind us that it is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Everything is His. Not only there are normally, for any creation, there are three causes. Material cause, instrumental cause, efficient cause. But here, all these three, normally when we make a pot, we need the material cause, the clay, and instrumental cause, some instrument by which we do that, and the intelligence, efficient cause to make it an object of utility. Here, all these three are coming from Him. At the individual level, we separate these three causes, but the individual is in a position to do this, to bring out these causes, because he is there behind it. So actions are to be done with a touch of love, with a touch of perfection, with a touch of dedication, and a touch of gratitude. Papa used to say bluntly, never in a slipshod, clumsy, irregular, half-hearted way. This will enable us to dwell on His remembrance. Right from leaving our chapel, right from opening the tap, closing the tap, right from taking the brush, right from using it and keeping it in its place, everything. There is no divide between mundane and spiritual. Bhagavad Gita gives us this. Absolutely there is no difference between mundane and spiritual, because there is no place where He is not. So when to remember Him, again we forget, to remember Him, 3rd chapter He says, dedicate everything to me. Touch of love, nothing in a haphazard way. Touch of perfection. Some of these are in 2nd chapter, this is also there. Yoga karmasu kaushala. Dexterity in action is yoga. Efficiency in action is yoga. At all level. At the family level, professional level, social level. Wherever we are, we try to bring in this double efficiency. What is the double efficiency? Outer productive efficiency, inner character efficiency. When we align ourselves with this truth, the indwelling reality, the character development takes place. Otherwise, outer productivity will be there, but me and mine getting thickened, I have done this, I have succeeded, so many things. So here the Lord wants this double efficiency should be kept up. So this will enable us to dwell on his remembrance. And from there we move to the fourth chapter, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, 42 shlokas. Even while actions are going on, one has to develop the akarma attitude as an offering to him through a natural and spontaneous process. Karma, akarma. No? Even while doing, we are not aware that we are doing. When we are immersed in a work, when we are aiming at efficiency or perfection or excellence, when we are prompted from within, spontaneously, somebody has a slip and he is about to fall, we are very near to him, we don't know him. But spontaneously we will go and try to help him. I am not there. If I am not there, I will check up whether I will be able to hold on to him, my weight, his weight. I have got an appointment, whether I will get delayed. But this is spontaneous. So though it is an act, you are not owning the act, which is called akarma. This is highlighted in the fourth chapter. From there, so even while actions are going on, one develops an attitude of akarma. By forsaking the fruits of action, reveling in his remembrance, not depending upon anybody for anything, one involves in action, at the same time feeling of not acting at all. This will free us from the unbearable load of the assumed burden, ownership. From there we move to the fifth chapter, Karma Sannyasa Yoga with 29 shlokas. When it is seen that actions have a knack of creating controversies and stress, thoughts to abandon all action and retire to solitude might well up. Sannyas. Here the Lord says that actions are superior to non-performance of action, because even when we retire to solitude, by withdrawing from all fields of action, our mind will remain as disturbed as it was due to unruly nature of the mind, though austerities or controls of cravings and desires are practiced. Every now and then we all meet together, we try to do individually, we try to do congregationally, collectively also. Everything is alright. But in spite of all these, we will see that the mind is always turbulent. Therefore, instead of renouncing all actions, what is suggested is to realize that actions emanating from within are carried out by both organs of action and organs of perception, propelled by previous karma in the form of gunas brought forward from our previous birth. This will result in making us impervious of the results of all actions apparently done by us. Beautifully he does, he says that. Pralapan, there is a beautiful sloka, how the eyes open and close, how we walk, how we talk, how we eat. So many things it's not consciously we are doing, Think about it. Right from morning, as soon as you get up, not that every time you are conscious of doing it. So he says, Svabhavastu pravartate. Na kartrutvam na bhoktrutvam lokasya srijati prabhu na karma bala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. So that means that a sense of detachment takes place in this activity while you are apparently acting. It does by its svabhava. Oh, right. So I don't identify myself with it. And from there we move to a very important chapter, 6th chapter, Atma Samyama Yoga. 47 slokas. How to have the self-control. Three important things. Yuktahara viharasya, he keeps on telling. Moderation in everything. One-pointed concentration leading to meditation. on the indwelling reality, moderation in everything and maintaining a sense of evenness. For this practice and dispassion are a must. Abhyasa and Vairagya. No? Through one or two slokas we get connected to this. We have learned everything through practice and dispassion. We don't know that. If you have scored 90 in your school days, 90 plus distinction, you will see that at that time, entire concentration was on that. Or you may be having cravings or desires or something like that. Even if the food is kept, you may not even take it. A dispassion automatically wells up when our commitment toward the ideal gets rooted. So here, consciously suppose we do that. Moderation in everything. One-pointedness, evenness. This is beautifully brought out. That means not all the things which we have discussed is not a thing to be developed. God has made us to go through that in our own life. But we are not conscious of it. Now through this in-depth study, we will become conscious of it. And from there we move to the 7th chapter. Jnana Vijnana Yoga, 30 shlokas. For the above, an effort to translate spiritual knowledge into spiritual experience is to be undertaken. Spiritual moderation, one-pointedness, evenness, these are okay, theories. But it has to be implemented. Knowledge has to become wisdom. Knowledge has to become experience. Delving deep into the origin of oneself and the world help to actualize spirituality in daily life to a great extent. Different pictures, morning view, drawn by the same artist with the same brush on the same canvas, evoke different feelings. Similarly, the Supreme Artist, the Lord, brings out the varied manifestation with the same ingredients. This 7th chapter says, Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti. He lists about the 8 ingredients in everything. Just like the brush, paste, brush, the canvas, the paint, the concepts in the mind, and how it is now depicted in the form of caricatures. So similarly, all these creations, if we try to understand the source as well as the material, that material cause, that instrumental cause, that efficient cause, if we are in a position to do that, we will be able to see Him. The bitterness in the bitter gourd, the sweetness in the sugar cane, the spiciness in the chili. Oh, we will remember. It has all come from one source. Then we move to the 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga, with 28 shlokas. Something, probably most of others may not find comfortable, because here he concentrates upon the phenomenon called death. If we are always conscious that Vinoba used to say, the moment we are born, we have bought the ticket for death. Everything is uncertain, but this is certain. But we are not aware. So the 8th chapter reminds us, Akshara Brahma Yoga, periodical contemplation of death of the body and the need to dwell on the indwelling reality at all times and places will help in developing the needed detachment from the ephemerals. Always getting grounded in union with God ensures freedom from delusion, which leads the individual to reach the ultimate goal. Anything that is born has to die. We also look at our own life, How many concepts we developed right from our childhood days, ever since our mind intellect started growing, developing. Previously we were attached to the playthings, teddy bear, this. We will not give to anybody. We will cry if somebody takes. After some time, we outgrew. Again, our priorities were shifted to something else when we were in the youthful period. After some time, again. So we are looking back to our own life. We will know this. Everything is transient. Nothing is permanent in us. But we hardly think about it. That is why he wants us to think about it. And he also says in one sloga, Antakaleja mameva smaran. At the time of death, if you remember me, you will come to me. Just like the river joining the ocean, where the sense of individuality or the label is not there. So you will come to me means that. So how will I come? Antakaleja mameva. That eva means only me. Nothing. For that I should practice now itself. At that time it will not come. So this is highlighted in the 8th chapter. And from there we move to the 9th chapter. Rajavidya Rajagukheyo. Here again we contemplate upon the origin of ourself and the world by realizing that he is the goal, he is the supporter, he is the Lord, he is the witness, he is the abode, he is the refuge, he is the friend, the origin, the dissolution, the substratum, the storehouse, the seed immutable. Whatever action is done, whatever is eaten, whatever is offered as sacrifice, whatever is given, whatever austerity performed, are all offered to him totally. Even today you facilitated us to closely think about, to intensely think about, to earnestly dwell upon you. And you facilitated so many things for us through many of your creations. Everything is offered. The Brahmarpana. There are so many shlokas in this 9th chapter. So when we do that, Vinobaji has beautifully coined a word here. That is the express highway road. Where you don't have to, you can close your eyes and run. There won't be any accident. That means every time if you are conscious that he is the facilitator, he is providing, he is making me to move, he is making me to think, he is making me to do that, that means the entire ownership has been handed over to him. That is the safest route. He says, this path is the royal path, express highway to God, where we do not have to bother about anything because we are safe in his hands. 9th chapter. Then we move to the 10th chapter. You have time,
Yes.
Vibhuti Yoga with 42 shlokas. The vast creation, it's a beautiful word. The vast creation is like God's book. When our eyes are covered with thick veils, we think that the book is closed. That means God dimension is not there. We treat it as a mic, we treat it as a heater, we treat it as a table, we treat it as a dress, the center. Everywhere in this book, that means everywhere in this creation, the name of the Lord is written in beautiful letters. But we fail to read that. That is why we said everything has to be handled with a touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of gratitude, touch of dedication. We get this description of the world manifestation, that the divine has become the many through its yoga power. Though he is one, he can also be the many. An in-depth study of his vibhuti means power of manifestation, helps to know him more clearly. One method is to see him in pure and gentle forms among human beings, starting point, and grand and beautiful forms in nature. You just go for a ride, any landscape, any mountain, any waterfall. Why do you still stop and say, beautiful? There is a fusion between the inner reality and the outer creation. The Lord assures us that when devotion is developed in that particular event or person or object, in bhaktas to know and love him, he will take those bhaktas unto himself. The last sloka of this chapter is so beautiful. Beauty. And then we move to the Vishwarupa Darshan, 11th chapter, with 55 slokas. Because our me and mind is limiting us, unknowingly, unwittingly we become a prey to it. So here is a practical suggestion. Wherever a greater manifestation of energy, beneficial and uplifting humanity become expressive, we should know that he is present there. That is why we see, why do we have this photo? It is not a photo, We feel Ma's presence. We feel Papa, Mataji's presence. We feel such revealed soul's presence in us. This is how then we will start hearing their words. And they are telling us, he is there in everybody. So first we see them, whenever a greater manifestation of energy, beneficial and uplifting humanity become expressive, we should know that he is present there. A portion of his own infinite nature is present. The Lord is present in different objects as different attributes that we find joy in them and feel a kind of relationship with them. The Lord says that he, in the final sloka he says, the Lord says that he who is free from enmity to all creatures, absence of awareness, who is ever engrossed in serving the world impartially without any expectation, who dedicates all his actions to him, who is full of devotion, who forgives all and is detached and full of love, becomes an instrument of him. This is Vishwarupa Darshan. And then we move to a small chapter, but a chapter which we always keep learning by heart. Yes, 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. Devotion is of two kinds, one to the form and to the other formless. The doubt arises as to which is superior. Worship to the form with supreme Shraddha and ever steadfast, as also worship to the formless by those who have subdued all the senses, even-minded everywhere, engaged in the welfare of all beings, both take to the same goal. At the same time, it is difficult for those whose minds are set on the unmanifested by the embodied, because we have got a form. To concentrate upon the formless, it is difficult. So how to get over this? The Lord enumerates more than 30 qualities, and trying to practice these qualities entitles one to become his dearest devotee. The last 7 slokas, Adveshta sarvabhudanam maitra karuna evaja, nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sugakshami, santushta satadam yogi yatatma triranishchaya, mayarpita manobuddhihi yomat bhakta same priya. Like that in 7 slokas he says, just to give you some idea, malice towards none, Adveshta sarvabhudanam, not only to human beings, to the entire creation. Not only malice towards none, friendship towards all, maitra, compassionate towards all, karuna, nirmamo, not possessing it, not feeling the sense of possession. Everything else, you possess things, but don't think that you are possessing it. It has been given to us as a trustee. Until somebody claims, it can remain with us. Papa says like that, yes. It can remain with us until someone comes and claims it. Nirmamo. Nirahankar. The sense of doership is less and less. Time is not there. There are so many examples. It is not a tall talk. Nirahankara samadukka sugakshami. Equal-minded in dukkha and sukha. Kshami means the enduring capacity, forgiving capacity. Santushta Satatam Yogi. Santushta means always content. He has sent me. Does he not know what is to be provided to me? Why should I break my eyes and brain? Always contented. Satatam. Santushta Satatam. Always. Yogi. Yogi means root. Yoga means union with God. Rooted in Him. He is the origin. He is the sustainer. He is the... In ashram we have a prayer. We say, O Lord of the universe, O Creator, O Protector, O Destroyer of the world. I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to Thee. So like that we keep on. Though it goes on at the lip level, we have not still submitted anything to Him. But one day He will make us to. So this 12th chapter is very important. Many of you might know Mahatma Gandhi. He was a saint, real life saint. During his hectic involvement, he took time to go to Kausani in Himalayas, and then he wrote a brief commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And he started the Bhagavad Gita not from first chapter, from the 12th chapter.
Anasakti Yoga.
Anasakti. He says it is Anasakti Yoga. So the 12th is very, very important. This will enable us, to all these 11 chapters what we have heard. This will help us. Practical method. Very practical. Anapeksha, Shujihi, Dakshaha, Udasino, Gatavyada. We don't depend upon anybody, not because of arrogance. Least trouble to all. Anapeksha. Shujihi, whatever we do it with neat, clean, clarity. Dakshaha means efficiency, excellence. Udasino Gatavyada. Certain situations God will subject us to go through in the family, in the profession, field of profession, in society. There we get a positive indifference, Udasina, not negative indifference. You become neutral. Sarvaramba Parityagi. Nothing will be initiated with the feeling that I am initiating. Yomat Bhakta Samepriya. Such a being is dearer to me. Like that, the 7 slokas. Then we move to this 13th chapter. Kshetra Kshetratna Yoga with 34 slokas. The body and the knower of the body. To separate. We know that we are not the body. But that is only for a split second. Again we are identifying ourselves with the body. So for that, sense of individuality is caged in this body, Ranganathanji Maharaj used to say in one of his commentaries in Vivek Chudamani, there are 2 eyes in us. One eye is this body. I am so and so. I want to do it. I have to go back now. I am feeling chill. All these things, I. And there is a witness, I. We tried, during the mental chanting. The chanting is going on. We become aware of the chanting. Chanting is being heard. Chanting is being realized. By whom? In the concluding shlokas, Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadi Raksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sakshibodham. Is like a witness. So we have to develop this. For that, in not all talk, he has enumerated 20 values here. Because unless it is interpreted in the way in which I know, I will not be able to follow thee. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Nityamatma Vinigraham, Indriyakteshu Vairagyam, Anahankaram Evacha, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. Like that, he keeps on bringing out the technique by which we can separate the knower of the body from the body. The Lord also enumerates more than 20 values to realize the purpose of true knowledge. The knower of the field is explained as one shining by the functions of all senses, yet without senses. Unattached, yet sustaining. Devoid of gunas, yet their experiencer. He is there. Today you prepare so many things, in the vessel. It can be bitter, it can be sweeter, it can be spicy, it will not complain anything. Whatever you want, you can do it. The knower of the field is explained as one shining by the function of all senses, yet without the senses, without the taste, without this. Unattached, yet sustaining. Devoid of gunas, yet their experiencer. From there we move to 14th chapter. Gunatraya Vibhagayo, 27 slokas. The Lord emphatically declares that all forms that appear in the world are produced by Prakriti and that He is the seed-giving Father. We read it out now. The three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, bind the immutable embodied being to the body. Why is it that I cage myself? It is because of the gunas. He also points out that Sattva is luminous, pure, harmless. At the same time, binds by attachment to happiness and knowledge. Rajas stands for passion, giving rise to thirst, attachment, binding to the embodied, to the attachment to action. Tamas, born of ignorance, stupefying all bodies, bind by misapprehension, indolence and sleep. The embodied one, having gone beyond these three, is freed from birth, death, old age, sorrow and attains to immortality. Here again, Vinobaji used to say, in this sloga we said, Brahmanandam, Paramasukadam, Kevalam, Jnanamuktim, Tandvatitam, Gagana Sadrisham, Tattvamasyadiriksham, Yekam, Nityam, Vimaramacharam, Sarvadi, Sakshi Bhudam, Bhavaditam, Triguna Rehitam, Triguna Rehitam. To such a Sadguru I bow, who is the indwelling reality. So this, out of the three gunas have to be eliminated. But Vinobaji gives an amendment here. While Rajas and Tamas are to be totally annihilated, Tapas is to be wounded. The moment you become aware of your sattvic qualities, you have lost it. You should become unaware of the qualities. That is why you have to retain it, but become unaware of it. Otherwise pride creeps in. So that is given here as the 14th chapter, Gunatraya Vibhagayo. Beautiful, no? It's all related to our workaday life. And 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, with 20 slokas. We can establish happy relations through him and with everybody else. And he is the Purushottama, both as the manifest and unmanifest. To know him means jnana, to love him means bhakti, to serve him means karma. We can adopt a jnana, bhakti, karma combination and become free even when we are handling the world around us. Here also we remember Vinobaji's words. There are only three things we have to remember. Me, the devotee, he, the Lord within, and rest of the things are articles of worship. Thought, everything, Objects, emotions, thoughts, situations, everything are articles of worship. So anything, we try to associate with him. He has made us. He has to. That is Purushottama Yoga. Uttama Purusha. Purusha, Prakriti and Purushottama. Purusha is the activating, propelling force. Prakriti is this manifestation, and those who is beyond these two, Purushottama. And then we move to the 16th chapter. Devasura Sampat Vibhagayo, 24 slokas. Beautiful. All of us know that there are two forces within us. One is the elevating force, the other one is down-pulling force. Elevating force is called Devi Sampat, and down-pulling force is called Asuri Sampat. Through 3 slokas, 26 values are brought out to make us aware of the Devi Sampat inherent in us. Apayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, Dhanandamascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastava Arjavam, Ahimsa, Satyam, Akrodam, Tyagam, Shanti, Apaishunam, Dayabhudeshu, Aloluktam, Mardavam, Hri, Achaparam, Teja, Kshama, Dhriti, Shaucham, Adroho, Natimanita. Starting with fearlessness, because he is there, why should we fear? He is there, everybody. So there is no otherness, I don't have to fear. And the end is, the last is humbleness, humility. So Devi Sampat, elaborate explanation has been given about Asuri Sampat, which I don't think we need any explanation because we know ourselves. So here we have been asked by the 16th chapter, when we try to separate, we will be able to, when we bring in the God dimension more and more, the down-pulling forces lose its capacity or power to influence us. The sense of individuality asserting and arrogating itself in all types of activities, they get reduced. And then from there we move to the 17th chapter, Shraddhatraya Vibhagayo, 28 slokas. Shraddha of each is according to his or her natural disposition. Svabhava, which consists of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, one is verily what he wants Shraddha is. Elaborate details are given on the characteristics of food, austerity, almsgiving, yajna, dana and tapas. If we try to practice yajna, dana, tapas, we will be able to overcome to a very great extent. Yajna is giving back to the nature. Dana is giving back to the society. Tapas is giving back to the body. Every day we are extracting, The moment it starts, any productive activity is called yajna. I am taking so much from Mother Nature, I should do something to pay back, to give back. I am taking so much from the society. I must somehow try to pay back. I am taking so much from the body. That is called tapas. Beautifully it has been brought out. So the revering spiritually evolved souls, purity, straightforwardness, continence, non-injury are called the austerity of the body. Mind, serenity of mind, gentleness, silence, self-control, honesty of motive, this is called the mental austerity. And Vangmaya tapas, speech which causes no vexation, which is true, as also agreeable and beneficial, and regular study of the elevating books, these are said to form the austerity of speech. And then finally we move to the 18th chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, 78 slokas. Summing up of the entire thing. This is the longest. The second chapter had 72, but this one has got 78 maximum slokas. This chapter is summing up of all that has been discussed before. The whole yoga of the Gita is that wonderful attitude of developing oneness with all. And whatever fruits come out of the actions we do will go to the good of all. Nobody can remain without action. However much we hear about the method to bring in the God dimension, while involving in activities, we may fail or forget. Probably that might have prompted the Lord to repeat the only method for common man is to detach from the fruits of action and dedicate to Him. Thus he concludes that only through loving devotion one can unravel the secrets of the Supreme Divine Personality. He then reminds Arjuna that God dwells in the hearts of all living creatures and directs their movements according to their own karmas. We must take His shelter, think of Him, dedicate all our actions to Him, make Him our ultimate goal. Then, by His grace, we will easily overcome all difficulties, obstacles. However, if we get driven by pride and according to our impulses, we will fail. To motivate everyone to think on the above lines, the Lord portrays in detail the attribute of those who have attained perfection in spirituality and realized the Brahman. He adds that even these perfect yogis, finding engaging in bhakti transcendent to complete their Brahmic realization, the way to train ourselves not to take upon our shoulders the burden of being the doer of the action, we should keep reflecting. I just happen to be an instrument. I am not really the doer of actions. We should first assume this stand with humility. This, of course, will not immediately result in the complete eradication of the doership. It can happen only gradually. The next step is to feel that the activities do not touch the self. Just like the vessel, whatever may be. In this room, this space is there. Somebody may be having elevating thoughts, somebody may be having opposite thoughts, somebody may be crying, somebody may be smiling, somebody is positive, somebody is negative, but the space does not get affected at all. Remains ever useful. It will not deny us. Think. That is what is. So this of course will not immediately result. It can happen gradually. The next step is to feel that the activities do not touch the self. They are of this body. But I am not the transient and mortal body. I am full of divine consciousness. The clarion call of the Gita is this, finally. Reduce yourself to zero. Let there be the Lord and the Lord alone in the universe. So starting from me to me, ending with me to Him. This is the synopsis of Bhagavad Gita. This is one perspective. There could be so many perspectives. So this overview will help us. Out of these, 18 chapters, we will be prompted. He will prompt us. As to where we should start. As we said in Mahatmaji's case, he aligned himself with the practical values which can be tried, verifiable. These are all verifiable truths. It is verified by them, but it should be verified by us. So it is a verifiable truth. So we have to experiment with this in background, right from the moment we get up till we retire to bed. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. From the me and mine who is oblivious of my original nature, slowly become aware of his relevance, of his role, of his whole thing on me. And then finally when I realize, I may not realize. Every now and then the me and mine will resist, will assert. But by gradual practice, he said, by abhyasa and then dispassion, we try to develop this. And we have been assured by Mahatmas that it is possible in this very birth itself. So let us all pray to Him who is within us, who has motivated us to dwell on these thoughts, who has been who has made us to get in touch with highly evolved spiritually evolved souls, to know that this is not merely a theory, and this is not for retiring to any activities. Here is an attempt made. Bhagavad Gita really helps us to transform all our activities as sadhana. Now we would have defined certain things as sadhana, certain things as our duties. But no, everything is a sadhana. So we are trying to understand that every activity, everything that we think, we act, and everything is a form of, we are trying to transform it as a part of our sadhana. Because everything is dedicated to Him. So we pray to Him to kindly hasten our journey by bringing this dimension into all the activities. Not the labeled activities as spiritual activities, in all my activities. Because you are there in everything and everybody. We are very happy we could come here and dwell on these thoughts. Due to some body limitations, we are getting back, but as tomorrow also we will try to dwell upon it through, what is that? Skype.
And we are very happy that you
But we are with you. The Satsang will always be with us. Very, very happy, very, very deeply grateful to the Lord for having given us this wonderful opportunity to dwell on these sublime, profound, essential, vital thoughts. Hari Om.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey Jagadata, Vishwa Vidata, Hey Jagadata, Vishwa Vidata, Hey Sukha Shanti, Hey Jagadata, Vishwa Vidata, Hey Sukha Shanti. Bhagavad Jagati Jagavandana Anupamana Dhani Anupamana Dhani Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Jagdata Vishwavidata He Sukh Shanti
Very good. Prayer. One prayer. It's a beautiful prayer proposed by Swami Dayanji Maharaj. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. I am blessed with all that one can hope for, ask for. I have a mind to think, it is thy glory. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, all these are thy glory. I have in front of me a world so vast and so variegated, enough for me to express myself. Again it is thy glory. I can make, I can unmake, all these possibilities are again thy glory. I can even make this prayer to you. This capacity to appreciate you is again thy glory. I seek from thee nothing, for you have given me everything. Inside me, outside me. Your presence is something that I can't miss, I don't want to miss. Let thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see thy glory. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. Another prayer. Adorable presence who is within us now, who is making us to read this. Thou who art within and without, above and below and all around, thou who art interpenetrating the very cells of our being, thou who art the eye of the eye, ear of our ears, heart of our hearts, mind of our minds, breath of our breaths, life of our lives, and the soul of our souls. Bless us, dear God, to be aware of thy presence now and here. This is all that we ask of thee. May all of us be aware of thy presence in the east and the west, in the north and the south. May peace and goodwill abide among individuals as well as communities and nations. This is our earnest prayer. May peace be unto all. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.